Building a personal brand is a major key to my success and countless people inside the network marketing space and even outside of network marketing. Like, think about the people you follow. You know, Eric Worre, probably one of the biggest network marketing trainers, if not the biggest in the world, right? Fraser Brooks, Ray Higdon, like these guys have dominated on social media, right? Now, they started a long time ago, so be okay with that. Think about the people inside your network marketing company. Now, maybe some of them do not leverage social media. Maybe they got in, early on, or maybe they recruited some people that crush on social media. Maybe they're not crushing on social, but people in their downlines are, right? But I bet a lot of your top people are leveraging social media. I bet you a lot of the top people inside of your company, I know inside of my company that's the case, they've been leveraging social. And I'll tell you a story. 9 years ago this week, our company was shut down by the FTC, and it was devastating. I was done. I was fed up. I was disgusted. I was disgruntled. I was disappointed. I had to leave. There was no choice. I was there 7 years. Nobody was making money but me. My entire team was dead. I don't like saying that, but it's true. Nobody was making money. I had to leave. I left after choosing what I thought was the best company. 2 years in, 7,000 people had joined us in 2 years. If you want to know what I mean by build a brand, really it's building your reputation. It's building your influence, your credibility, your authority. That's how you could look at it. Sometimes people get it twisted. Like, what does it mean to build a brand? Really, it's just your reputation. Like, do people know you? And what do they know you for? Like, how do they know, right? Like when you think about me, what do you think about me when you think about me, right? What do you think about some of the people you follow and you look up to or you like listening to? What do you think about, your favorite podcaster? What do you think about them? Like, they've all built personal brands, right? We started building a brand in 2013. And we built this influence. Now we have a lot more influence today, but we had a pretty good amount of influence even back then in 2015. In fact, I'm curious, how many of you were following me back then? How many of you have known Nadia and I since before 2015 and our company was shut down? I bet not many of you. So why is it important to build a brand in 2024 and beyond? Because you don't have to rely on your friends and family. Now, again, when you're starting out, you got to start with what you got. So if you're just getting started in your network marketing business, your home business, your social retail business, your affiliate business, whatever you want to call it, if you're just getting started, you don't need to get caught up in branding yourself. You need to focus on getting your first 5 to 10 customers, your first couple recruits, hit your first few ranks in your comp plan, right? Hit a promoter rank, a builder rank, like start actually rank advancing using the basic strategies and steps. But at some point, would you agree? You probably want to branch outside of your existing warm market. You probably don't want to just rely on the new people joining your team and who they know and referrals from them. You probably want to have leads and build a following, a community, get to know, like, and trust people in your network. And then they get to know, like, trust you. Like, this is kind of like, obvious conversation right now. This is the value in building a brand. So, and I love what Gary Vaynerchuk says. He was one of the first ones we started following and listening to way back when about building a brand. And still today, he's one of the most, I would say, gurus when it comes to social media and brand building conversations. And he's always he's very direct, but he's also very future thinking. Like, he's always thinking about what's working now and what's working in the future, what he thinks is going to work and what's going to be relevant. And one of the things he talked about way back when, it's like out-lead, out-learn, out-give, out-produce your competition, right? Like, you want to learn more than them. You want to lead by example. You want to show up, provide more value than the competition. And to me, it made a lot of sense, but I didn't know what that was going to look like. I didn't know what my brand was, but here's the thing. And a lot of my top people that are killing it, they show up every day. They post every day. They're connecting with people on the front end, connecting with them on the back end, and they're having conversation. And here's why conversation is so important. Like, if you're like, well, how do I figure out my brand? Same way that Gary was teaching way back then, it was paying attention to people that are paying attention to you. And it's really like the modern day currency is attention. How can you get attention, but not just attention? How can you get retention? How can you get people to continue following you, continue to plug into you, right? How can you get a customer to keep ordering from you, or someone on your team to keep following and wanting to plug in and work on themselves and work their business, right? Like, all of these things are super relevant. And what I love about building a brand, like, watch this. Okay, so this training right here, I'm sharing this with my entire team. My entire organization is watching this training either live or on the replay. They're going to get value from this conversation. Even if I don't generate a new follower, a lead, nothing happens as far as like new people seeing this But also, not only will I train my existing team, they're going to get value no matter what. This is going to help them, but we'll also take this piece of content, turn it into a podcast. We'll take this 30, 60-second clip and post it as a reel, right? Post it in my stories. The point is, putting out content on a consistent basis will help you figure out your brand. And I know that sucks, but that's how it goes. How do you think I figured out how to play baseball? I know, that's it. You're right, you got it. Playing the game, not by reading it in a book, not by taking a course on playing baseball. No, I had to play the game. I had to pick up the ball, throw it around, catch, hit. That's the deal. When I think about the brand that I've built, it was through just putting out content, having conversations, right? Seeing what people were saying in the comments. What questions were they asking me? Here's how you know you're on the right path. People are asking you questions, but also they start thanking you. They say, thank you for your story. Like for instance, when I talk about how I quit drinking 16 years ago and it was the best decision I ever made. Whether I'm talking about something like that or I'm giving business advice, I'm inspiring people with what it really takes to be successful. Like these kinds of conversations will get people commenting, sharing. They get to know me. They reach out to me for advice. They look at me as an authority. They'll be in my inbox. Sometimes not even like a question, just like, I needed this, stuff like that. People will say to me, that's how I started to figure out like, ooh, I should do more of that content. And it gave me energy. Like I got fired up talking about these things, right? Whether I was doing training on like, network marketing, team building, recruiting, tap rooting, customer acquisition, duplication conversations, or maybe I was talking about social media and, what to do every day, DMOs and follow up and ATM, like all these things. Like, how did I know people love the ATM system? Or they loved conversations around like going live and building a brand? By putting out that kind of content. Putting out that kind of content and seeing the responses. This ain't freaking rocket science. So if you're in a situation where you're kind of tapping out your warm market, like your warm market is a little tapped out, a little burnt out, like you feel like you're not getting attention on social, you're reaching out to people, you're getting ghosted, probably all the more reason to get better. You're going to suck in the beginning. Embrace the suck. I had no good content. My content was so bad in the beginning. There was nothing interesting about it. But because I kept doing it every day, it got a little better. And I also had a decade plus of personal development. I get people that join me or they want to join me. They go, I can't do what you do. And I'm like, no shit. Of course not. But I'm making multiple 6 figures per month. Like, of course you can't do what I do yet. I couldn't do what I'm doing now 10 years ago. Certainly not 20 years ago. But that should inspire you to go, wow, look what's possible. So stop looking at your upline going, I can't talk like them. I don't have confidence. Nobody has confidence in the beginning. In fact, how many of you are that person? You're nervous to share your story. You're nervous to go live. You're nervous to talk about your new business or your new products. Good. Because nervous energy is the most relatable. When you're new, all you're supposed to do is create curiosity, create conversation, ATM, put them in group chats. That's it. So this branding conversation is a more advanced conversation. But again, if you want to get better at it, you need to pay attention to people that are paying attention to you. It's not the front end stuff. It's the back end. You go, only got 3 likes on my last post. Okay, did you reach out to those 3 people? I only got 10 new followers in the last month. Did you reach out to those 10 followers and build a relationship? See, here's what's beautiful about having a small following and a little bit of engagement. You got more time to build relationships. You got more time to go back and forth with that person. If you want to get better at attracting like-minded people, talk to the ones that are already engaging with you. See what questions they have. Put out content that's interesting. It's like valuable. And you're going to go, I don't know what's interesting. Well, what's interesting to you? Start with that. What are you learning? What do you find interesting? And then put your own spin or twist. Back in the day, we used to say, never talk about politics. Because back in the day, that made sense. Nowadays, dude, I know people killing it, talking about their religious beliefs, their political beliefs. Now, as long as you do it with respect, you can talk about anything you're passionate about. It doesn't have to be about products or opportunity, but you can sprinkle in your products and opportunity because you're building those relationships. You're creating curiosity here and there. If all you do is create curiosity, all you do is post about your products, you're probably not getting good engagement unless you're already an influencer. So you got to be really careful. In fact, I would follow the 80-20 rule. If I do stuff in my stories, right? Go check out my stories for Facebook and Instagram. You'll see that most of it is value. If I do like 10 posts in my story, I can maybe have 2 of those posts be about my products, creating curiosity around my opportunity. During the week, if you did, let's say 10 posts, 8 of them should have nothing to do or not be very direct in nature about your products or opportunity, right? If all they do is see you post pictures of your products and before and afters all day, every day, I'm not saying you won't get some results, but I think you're gonna find it very difficult to attract people to you if they look at you as an infomercial. But the best way to figure this out is through you putting out the content. And remember, you don't have to be an expert. Let's say you saw something on social media that blew your mind. Maybe you learned something about your product. Your upline or a leader in your company shared something. You're like, whoa, that's awesome. And you turn around and share that. You don't say, hey, I'm the expert telling you this thing. You just say, hey, I just learned something and it blew my mind. And when you share that thing, now people go, wow, that was value. It's like you're depositing into your social equity. And the more you deposit into your social equity, your influence, your reputation, your brand builds over time. Over time, not instant. I know this microwave society, it's really hard. Like, I need to make money now. I need to make money now. Yeah, bring that to the marketplace. Nobody wants to join someone with commission breath, with desperation. Like, you gotta play the long game. So you're building up your social equity. And the only way to figure out what kind of content works for you, what works for you is not gonna work for me and the next person, right? We all have our own style, personality, things that we like talking about. You're only gonna figure that out by doing it, but also you gotta grow you. You have to get better. How much time are you honestly spending learning about your products, learning about your company? It blows my mind how many people tell me they're struggling and they don't get on the calls. They don't plug into the trainings. So if I go to your page right now and I see no videos, I see nothing valuable, how can I even ask you about your products or opportunity or even engage in your content if it's just boring, it's uninteresting, it's not valuable? Do you get it? And people always say, well, what's value? See, that's what's hard. Because what I find valuable is different than what you find valuable. So here's the easiest thing to figure out. Outside of just doing it is follow people that are crushing it. Go look at your company leaderboards. And don't just look at the leaderboards of the top earners. See, that can be a little deceiving. If they're a top promoter and they're outselling everybody else, like they're probably doing something different. They're probably really good at social and you can get ideas from those people, but also the top recruiters. Like, again, go check out their social accounts. Now, again, if they're not really using social and they're like three-way calls and warm market, like prospecting people with a pulse, different. But if they're like crushing on social, you can take what they're doing and not necessarily like steal it, but you're gonna model what they're doing and make it your own. Get so good that people can't ignore you.